Hey, what's up? This is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to talk about Devin the Dream Haney and why I believe he should get full credit if he defeats Vasiliy Lomochenko. Really quick, if you like the videos, please take the time right now. Click that subscribe button. Takes a hot second. Also, hit that thumbs up button. Takes another hot second. All together, that's 30 seconds. And without further ado, let's just jump into this video. So, one of the reporters asked Devin Haney, in their press conference, well, Vasil's getting older and, basically, do you feel like you should get, full credit for this? In which case, Devin's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I should get full credit for this. Because you guys said he was great. There was a point in time where this man could, do no wrong and he could, he can stay underwater for 10 minutes and all that other stuff. But now, if I beat him, then what, he's not great? He's not as great as he once was? Or was he never truly great? I personally believe that Vasiliy Lomochenko is one of the best fighters easily of the last 20 years that we've seen. Maybe even 30 years. He's just that good. He's just that talented. He's just that smart. He's just that crafty. And I don't like that people are trying to downplay him. And I feel like now either they're trying to downplay him for Devin, or they're just trying to downplay him. Either way, I don't necessarily like it. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's fair to him. And another thing I don't like is that because English is not his first language, he can't totally defend himself. And now, granted, maybe he shouldn't have to defend himself. I mean, his accolades speak for themselves. But still, I don't like that people say things like that because that man has done some truly amazing things in the ring. I remember there was a point in time when that dude was making everybody quit. They just didn't want to get up off the stool. And it wasn't that he was beating them senseless. It was that he was making them look stupid and senseless. That was the difference. And, for people to downplay that, because that's not a skill that everybody has. For people to downplay that, I think it's wrong and I think it's very disrespectful. Not many people can get in the ring and do what that man has done and still continue to do for just anybody, especially some random reporter, to just put him down and say something like that. I think Loma's a great fighter. Let's see. So here's one of the things that I really want to touch on. So I've been saying that I personally believe Devin Haney will beat Vasiliy Lomochenko. And that's no knock on Vasiliy Lomochenko. I just think everybody, listen, I don't care who you are. I don't, anybody knows anything about ancient empires and kingdoms, you already know there's going to come a point in time where your kingdom will fall. It will crumble. It's just the way it is. Even the Romans went down. It's just the way it is. The Vikings went down. It's just the way it is. The Mongols went down. The Huns went down. I can keep going like that. It doesn't make a difference. You're going to run into somebody who you can't beat. And time doesn't wait for anybody. There's always somebody new to fight. And that's just the truth. There's always somebody new to fight. So while you're getting older, just know there's somebody who's being born right now and his parents are boxers. And they're going to groom him up to be a boxer. And by the time you're aging out and you're in your late 30s, that kid's 17, 18. He's like, I'm going to knock him out one day. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. It's just what it is. And everybody has their day. Everybody has their time. So you have your time to expire, and he has his time to shine and rise to the occasion. And it's just what it is. And when I look at Vasiliy Lomochenko, it's not a knock when I say that I believe Devin Haney can beat him. Personally, my strongest point for why he will win is because he's been watching him for years. There's nothing new under the sun that Vasiliy Lomochenko is going to bring to the table that Devin Haney hasn't seen him do. Devin Haney's young. Vasil's not old or anything. He's not an old guy or anything like that, but Devin's young. Devin's young. He's seen a lot. He's been in the camps with the Mayweathers. He was groomed under that Mayweather tutelage. I'm talking back when Roger was alive. He's been around. He's been around. He's not new to this. He's not new to this. And I think he will win because of that. I mean, I think Devin has skills as well. I think Devin's a very fast puncher. Um, I don't think he's the heaviest handed puncher, but when fighting Vasiliy Lomachenko, I think he's going to be a very heavy handed puncher. Um, I think he has a very strong jab, a very controlling jab, and I think he truly understands distance. And he also has quick feet. Now, Vasiliy Lomachenko also has quick feet, but over the years he has slowed down, especially in that Teofimo Lopez fight. He didn't look himself. And I know a lot of people are going to say, he was injured and all that, and that's fine. But I'm talking about his legs primarily, not his shoulder or anything like that. I'm talking about his legs. His legs didn't look the same. Vasiliy Lomachenko has a spring in his legs, and that spring wasn't there the way we're used to seeing it there. And I think Devin's speed and the combination of other things are just going to be too much for him. But like I said, Devin knows your tricks. He grew up watching you. He was groomed on you. Devin said it himself in a press conference. He says, I've been watching this dude for over 4 years. I've been training for this guy for over 4 years. I've been studying this guy for over 4 years. I got notebooks on you. Yeah, that's scary to know, but it's true. Because when you're young, what do? You look up to that guy who's in the spot that you want to be in, and you say, I want to fight him one day. That's what you say. I want to fight him one day. If you're a basketball player, you're going to look at LeBron James and say, I want to cross him over one day. I want to dunk on that guy one day. If you're a rapper, you probably look at it and say, I want to battle him one day. Well, he's a fighter. I want to knock him out one day. That's what that means. Devin, like I said, he's bigger. Another thing, in the press conference when they faced off, Devin was a lot bigger than Vasiliy Lomachenko. Now, that's nothing new under the sun for Vasiliy Lomachenko. He's typically the smaller guy, but Devin's a lot bigger than Vasiliy Lomachenko. Now you're taking a much bigger dude who's maybe just as fast or quite possibly faster than you, with fast feet, with fast hands, and he's going to have the heavier punches. That's a really big problem, and that's a tall order. And he's younger than you. That's a tall order. Let's see. One thing, so I don't feel like Devin gets a lot of credit for a lot of things, but one thing I'm definitely going to give him credit for is, yes, Devin walks around with a lot of flashy stuff. He has a lot of flashy stuff, like he does that. He has a lot of flashy stuff. But have you ever seen Devin without a six-pack? That dude lives in the gym. So I don't think he just took up a style from the Mayweathers. I think he also took up a way of life from the Mayweathers, because Floyd lives in the gym. Even now, retired, dude still lives in the gym. And Devin, I've never seen him without a six-pack. I've never seen him not ready. I've always seen him ready to go. Like, he's always ready to go. When he's on vacation, dude's ready to go. So he lives this. He lives that lifestyle, that Bushido type lifestyle. He lives that warrior lifestyle. He understands it. It's what he eats. It's training every day. It's running every day. It's not being sloppy, not taking too many days off. He lives this. And that's also a problem, because he's got all the belts and he's hungry like he doesn't have any belts. And he's living like he doesn't have any belts. That's a big problem for Vasiliy Lomachenko. What else? Let's see. If Loma wins, he beat a young, fit champion in his prime. But I suppose if Devin wins, will he get the credit? Will they say, well, he was old. His knees aren't what they used to be. His speed isn't what it used to be. Ever since the surgeries, he couldn't do the tricky things that he used to do. Who knows? You were much bigger than him, Devin. I mean, you were really bigger than him. So, that who's gonna say that? is he going to get the credit that he deserves? Because he ought to. Because Vasiliy Lomachenko is definitely going down in the Hall of Fame. Make no mistakes about that. Because he deserves to be there. Make no mistake about that. He's going there. So Devin should definitely get his just due and his credit. And Devin, I like the way Devin said it. So they asked about Tank and Ryan Garcia. And he said, well, yeah, it's a big fight because, both of those guys are really popular. They have huge fan bases and a lot of followers. So it's a really popular fight. He said, but this is a fight that's popular for fighters. If you understand fighting and you like fighting, this is the fight for you. And I like how he worded that. He didn't try to combat that promotion and what's going on with those guys. He just said, hey, you have arguably one of the best, greatest boxers at this weight to ever, grace the ring. And you have me up in here. Because the reality is Devin is still young, so he hasn't done half as much as what Vasiliy Lomachenko has done. I think that is pretty exciting in itself. And I think styles make fights, and they are a contrast of styles. But I do believe that Devin's going to come in and be the aggressor. Devin's definitely going to try to walk Vasiliy Lomachenko down. I don't think Devin's in any fear of being knocked out by Vasiliy Lomachenko. And I don't think he's going to be... I don't think Vasiliy Lomachenko is going to be faster than Devin either. So I totally see Devin Haney walking Vasiliy Lomachenko down. And if he gets into any trouble or he feels like Vasiliy Lomachenko is getting too hot, he knows how to create the distance and keep the distance and still control the fight. So I feel like however he wants to play this thing, I feel he definitely has a foothold on the fight. Let's see. That's basically it. I really wanted to say that. I really wanted to get that out. That. And also, let me say this before I end the video. The other thing that I'm always going to give Devin credit for is that he is always seeking a tough fight. Like, he's always seeking the top guy. He's always wanted the top guys. He was calling out Ryan Garcia years ago. He was calling out Tank 2 years ago, 3 years ago. He was already calling these guys out. He was calling out Vasiliy Lomachenko 4 years. Like, he's always been calling these guys out. And you got to give him credit because in this era now of boxing where we, the fans, don't get the fights that we want, it's quite refreshing to see a fighter who's very vocal and very outspoken about what he wants. And him being the champion calling out the toughest guy coming next, that says something about him. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, because he was asked, but I also know just based upon his character in the past, keep in mind, this is the guy who went to Australia twice to fight George Kambosos. He went in enemy territory, and he did that. People said he wouldn't fight Lomachenko. He's doing that. And after this fight, I have no doubts that he wants the winner of Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis. I have no doubts. No doubts. He would definitely be the one calling one of those guys out. Once he's done with Vasiliy Lomachenko, and I am saying once he's done because I do believe that he will beat Vasiliy Lomachenko, he'll definitely be calling the winner of that fight out. And once again, proving that he is the guy, besides Shakur Stevenson, is the guy who wants all the smoke. And that's my video. And tell me what you think down below. Do you agree with me that Devin Haney will win? Do you agree with me that he should get full credit if he beats Vasiliy Lomachenko? Or that he definitely will get full credit if he beats Vasiliy Lomachenko? Drop your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And as always, please like, please share, please subscribe to this channel.